Hello everybody. We are now on our second video. So at this point, everybody should have completed the value scale, and we should be moving on to our first series of exercises. So again, this first week is designed for us to kind of flex our muscles a little bit in terms of kind of more of the technical ability of something versus more of the creative side of things. However, with anything else, you can be creative. So on this one, you choose every day. I want you to choose one of the 10 things that are listed in Schoology and on the things you can pick from. So first off, looking at that list, it says simple still life, and possibly mess around with changing the light source where something comes from. So still life is where people usually think of like a bowl of fruit, is kind of the traditional one, but it could be anything that you want. I know I had a student who last year, and they were really into these figurines. So to try to push the originality a little bit more, I encouraged them to take those figurines and kind of set them up however they wanted to, because that's a still life, because you are still taking your creativeness and figure out how you want to arrange it. Okay, so even with still lives, you can be very creative. It could be as simple as a flower you go pick outside and you can put into a vase. If you do something like that, try to shut all the curtains, try to get some kind of a light that might be hitting it, more dramatically, to really push those values from those lights to those darks that you've been practicing. Okay, so that's one, simple still life. Second one, something that you do all the time, whether you did that last week or when you remember sitting in math class when we had school last year, you just doodle. I know I have a tendency to do more non-objective art when I doodle, where I would just take lines and I would just kind of mess around with them and create these unique shapes. Then eventually I would always kind of just get into drawing flowers kind of thing. But just whatever you normally would naturally draw is what you want to kind of play around with, and then just doodle. Again, it's not so much about taking this class that'll get you better at drawing. It's about setting aside the time, ideally every day, and just sketching. That's why I wanted to make sure that one of the things that I threw into your kit that was a little bit surprised was a sketchbook. Because while I can be there and help you get better at drawing, if you, at the end of these 3 weeks, don't pick up a pencil again until September, when you might have an art class, you're not going to get any better. The kids that you know of in class that are really good drawers, they've been doodling a very long time, and that is why they're good. Okay, it's not because they learn these special techniques necessarily. They help, but it's that time commitment and that passion that if you have it, you get good at it, and that's not just with art. That's everything. So simple still life, you can doodle. Unusual angle, and that's a fun one, where you might decide you want to try to. You can use your cell phone for this one. You can kind of take your cell phone, lay it on the ground, and take a shot of something that might be in the distance, or how a chair would look, underneath the chair, where you can still see the leg of the chair and something else. And you can use a cell phone. It's kind of cheating, but so you just don't have to lay down there and look at it the whole time. You could take a picture of things at weird angles, instead of 4.5 feet or 5.5 feet tall, and you always just kind of see the same thing. So look high, look low, try to find some unique angle of some kind of an object or furniture or whatever, or even your face, where you might have something down here, taking a picture up that way and see up your nose, and but it's kind of fun. Maybe not supposed to in your nose, but just the angle's kind of fun. Next one is draw upside down. And with the drawing upside down one, we get into that quite a bit when we copy our work from something that's already two-dimensional. And it helps out tremendously, because this is where it's like, maybe you want to do a portrait on this one, where you take a picture of yourself, flip your phone upside down, and draw like that. What's nice about drawing upside down technique is that it forces you not to draw a nose. It forces you to draw the lines and to get those values. That the nose doesn't necessarily have a line right along, the side of this part right here, but we always get hung up to make an ear look like an ear, but sometimes you just need to take this back to the basics and just focus on the lines. Okay, so find something that's a little more complicated, like a self-portrait, and draw it upside down. Okay. I mean, don't spend hours on this. I don't want you getting burned out on something. Just spend, half hour, 45 minutes on these a day, unless you really get into it, then spend more time. But don't get burned out on it. But drawing upside down is a big one. Number 5 is the 5-minute burn. And these are, we do something very similar like this in my drawing class, where we have somebody sitting in front of us. 5 minutes is a very long time when we do this, but they're called gesture drawings. Where you time yourself and you do a drawing in 5 minutes. And we take our long one, I think, is a minute. And then we do 30-second burn. And then we do a 20-second burn, and a 15-second burn, 10-second burn, a 5-second burn. And what that forces you to do is to be really general with your shapes, to try to get the main idea. And look at size relationships. If it was looking at the body, does the torso seem to be proportional to the legs? Does the head seem to be left or right of the core of the torso? So it gets you to loosen up a little bit, because when you typically draw something, you want to do a quick sketch because you want to try to find where those main things are first, and not spend an hour trying to draw an eyeball just perfectly, and then realizing, crap, that should have been over half an inch. And you got to erase the whole thing, or just have this thing that just looks weird the whole time. Okay, so that's something that is something that you should really also try to think about doing. I mean, these are all really good ones to play around with, but a 5-minute burn, sit wherever you want to sit, have somebody in front if you want to, just whatever's in front of you, draw it for 5 minutes. Okay, and if you have time, try to do a 2-minute burn. Try to do a minute burn. Try to do a 30-second burn. Try to do a 5-second burn. Okay. When we do these during one class period, we get like 10, 15 drawings done in one shot. Okay. So these don't have to be big. Use your sketchbook kind of thing, and divide your page up into like 4 squares, so you don't go through your whole thing, a whole sketchbook in just one episode of this. So. Okay, number 6 is hand drawing. That's just not, I'm going to draw something by hand, or we're all doing that. It's drawing your hand. We're always scared to draw hands and feet and all those things. So just keep your hand out in front of you, however you want to position it, and end up drawing it however you want to draw it. Okay? Next one is a blind contour drawing. So what that is that you'll have to, you could use your sketchbook again, take your pencil, try to put like a sheet of paper over top so you can't see your drawing at all, or fabric, or whatever you can find around your house. And you, again, kind of set something out in front of you, or it could be a vase, it could be a person, it could be your dog, or cat, or your fish. And just draw, staring at that the whole time, and do a drawing for about like a minute or two with never looking at your drawing. When you think you are done, contour lines are like, it's not just the outline of the object, but some of the main details. Once you feel like you're as far as you can go, open the sheet up, look at it, laugh, at it for a little bit, and then try it again. What blind contour drawing tries to get you to do is to get you to realize that all the answers to all your questions when you draw is in front of you, not on your drawing. If I want to draw a flower, and the flower's in front of me, I need to look at that flower. And what I notice with students sometimes is that they'll spend forever looking at their drawing, look up, then spend a lot of time looking at the drawing again. You need to look and draw much more in terms of me looking and getting used to knowing where you're at in your paper. So blind contour line drawing is good. Next one, crumpled paper. What crumpled paper is where you take any random sheet of paper, computer paper, crumple it all up, set it down, and you just draw it. There are no lines necessarily aside from the outside of it that you need to get that you can get. It's really forces you to draw the values of that. Another, in case you don't want to do the crumpled paper and you want to eat a little bit while you're doing this, pop some popcorn. Draw one of those pops of popcorn, okay? It's the same thing. Next one, one day, one theme. Follow the link. And what this one is, scroll down a little bit more. Don't download the PDF. And there are 100 different themes that you can draw. And people that get really into sketchbook development will really work on these themes. And I was kind of scrolling through them. One that caught my eye that'd be kind of fun is drawing, I think it was like a troll riding a unicorn kind of thing. I thought it'd be kind of funny what I think that would look like. So it gets you away from, getting on the internet and trying to figure out, what can I draw, but just relying a little bit on your own creativity. Don't worry so much and don't get hung up about making a horse or a unicorn look like a unicorn, or a troll looking like a troll. This is where you just need to flex those creative muscles and come up with your own themes. Okay, not themes, but your own idea what it would look like instead of copying all the time. It's a real hard step to take, and I understand that. But it being in your sketchbook and not anybody looking at it so much, except for maybe the small group of people that are in your class, hopefully that'll give you the courage enough to try it out. Okay, last one is negative space. I remember doing this one in college in our drawing class. This is where you draw the area around something. Now, one of the easier things to draw are like chairs, because chairs have those natural spindles in there. So instead of drawing the spindles, you draw the space that the spindles kind of cage in, which means you don't draw the outside shape of the chair. But you got to try to find things that have those natural areas in there that are open. When I help a student out in class if they're really struggling with something, I go to this technique and teach them. Don't look at, because especially if we're doing a grid drawing, don't look at this, this shape of this, wing, but it's already in a square. So don't draw the wing, draw that space around the wing. It gives you a completely different perspective, and it should really help you out with your drawing skills. Okay, so we're doing these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So one Tuesday, one Wednesday, one Thursday. Post what you have on the discussion board. One Tuesday, one Wednesday, one Thursday. And please make a positive comment about somebody else's work, okay? Because as an artist community that we are going to thrive on each other's constructive criticism as well as their praise. And one of the rules that I have in the discussion board is for you, when somebody posts a drawing, say something you like about it, say something they can improve on, say something else that you like about it. Okay, so it's just a sandwich technique, okay? Because we can be very nervous about sharing this stuff out. Okay, so praise, constructive criticism, because we do want to build people up, and then end it off with a praise again. Okay, so good luck with that. Sorry for the long video. You might have to watch it again. But try to, if you want to do the same one every day, that's fine, but it is good because these all kind of work with a little bit of a different facet of drawing. Okay, so, good luck. I'm very excited to see what you can come up with, and if you get stuck or something or need a little more encouragement or an idea, just shoot me an email. Thanks again.